New pickup trucks are bleeding $15,000 in value before the first service interval. The average full-size truck now sits above $58,000, financed over 7 years, depreciating every single day and costing the buyer money before they have driven a single mile. Meanwhile, buried inside the used vehicle market, there are 13 trucks that have already absorbed that fall. Machines built before the era of engineered obsolescence, before manufacturers discovered that 7-year financing could permanently detach sticker price from actual value. These trucks were engineered to run 300,000 miles on basic maintenance. They are sitting on private listings right now for under $12,000, while new inventory accumulates on dealer lots across America. Most buyers walk straight past them. The buyers who do not will still be driving a decade from now without a payment. Here is what the market has been hiding. Number 13. The 2005 to 2008 Toyota Tacoma, second generation, base trim. Most buyers scanning used listings scroll past a plain second-generation Tacoma the moment they see the word base. No leather, no sunroof, nothing that reads as premium. That instinct is costing them one of the most durable small trucks the used market has produced in the last 2 decades. Under that unremarkable exterior sits Toyota's 4-liter 1GR-FE V6, an engine that municipal fleet maintenance records from county vehicle pools across the American Southwest consistently document clearing 250,000 to 300,000 miles on oil changes, timing belt replacements at 90,000-mile intervals, and coolant flushes every 2 years. Consumer Reports' long-term reliability data from this generation shows the Tacoma outperforming every other compact truck from the same era at twice the age. Before purchase, inspect the frame on any northern example. Toyota ran an extended recall for rear frame corrosion on this generation, and replacement frames were provided at no cost. Confirmed timing belt replacement is documented. The 1GR-FE is an interference engine, and a snapped belt destroys the motor, making repairs a minimum $3,000. Check rear differential fluid, the most neglected service item on high-mileage Tacomas, costing $30 to service and expensive to ignore. A clean frame and documented belt replacement at 180,000 miles is a better purchase than a low-mileage truck with neither confirmed. This truck was built before Toyota began optimizing per-unit cost against quarterly shareholder returns. The era ended. The trucks did not. But the Tacoma proved what a reliable small truck looks like when the product has to last. The next entry shows what happens when the same discipline gets applied to a platform the insurance industry's own fleet databases say should not be as cheap as it currently is. Number 12. The 2003 to 2007 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 GMT 800 5.3-liter Vortec V8. At first glance, this generation of Silverado looks like every undistinguished full-size American truck from that decade. Nothing about its appearance suggests it belongs on a list of machines that outlast vehicles costing 5 times more. Insurance industry fleet databases do not share that assessment. The 5.3-liter Vortec uses a deep skirt iron block, a pushrod valvetrain, and a parts count substantially lower than any modern direct-injected alternative. Those databases show it posting the lowest engine replacement rate of any American V8 produced in its era. Mechanic forums dedicated to high-mileage GMT 800 trucks carry consistent owner documentation of 300,000-mile Silverados still on original drivetrains. The 4L60E automatic transmission lasts the life of the vehicle when fluid and filter changes are done every 30,000 to 40,000 miles. Not at the 100,000-mile intervals some owners have attempted. Parts availability is effectively unlimited. A water pump costs under $40 and an alternator costs under $80. Before purchase, confirm the intake manifold gasket has not developed a coolant leak. This is a known failure point on this engine, and it costs $400 to $600 at an independent shop to address. Inspect rocker panels and rear wheel arches for rust on northern examples. Confirm 4L60E fluid is clean and red rather than brown or burnt. A new Silverado priced at $58,000 this spring will be worth $28,000 in 4 years, while the buyer still owes more than that. This one absorbed that depreciation years ago. American iron lasts when built without the compromises that came later. The next entry proves Toyota was building to the same standard. It was on a platform already tested against conditions designed to expose every weakness a truck can have. Number 11. The 2000 to 2006 Toyota Tundra, first generation, 4.7-liter 2UZFE V8. Most buyers dismiss the first-generation Tundra as overshadowed by the larger second-generation. What they are walking past is one of the most overbuilt power plants ever installed in a consumer vehicle sold in America. The 4.7-liter 2UZFE V8 is the same engine family Toyota fitted to the Land Cruiser 100 series and the Lexus LX 470. Vehicles engineered for Siberian logging operations, Saharan aid deployments, and Alaskan government fleet use where engine failure is not a recoverable situation. Fleet maintenance logs from government vehicle pools and documented owner records on enthusiast forums show examples clearing 400,000 miles on original internals with routine fluid and belt maintenance. Before purchase, confirm frame condition on any northern example. Toyota ran an extended corrosion warranty on this generation and replacement frames were available. Confirm timing belt service at or before 90,000 miles with documentation. The same interference engine consequence and the same minimum $3,000 repair if missed. Check power steering hose condition, a known wear item on high mileage examples, costing approximately $150 to replace, that causes pump damage when it fails unaddressed. Inspect automatic transmission behavior at highway speed. The A750F torque converter lockup can show wear above 200,000 miles with a rebuild running $1,500 to $2,200. With those 4 items confirmed, this is a truck with 200,000 miles remaining available under $12,000, while the new Tundra beside it opens at $41,000. The next entry is what happens when an American manufacturer produces a V8 so architecturally simple that mechanics who have run it past 300,000 miles describe the outcome as closer to certainty than probability. Number 10. The 2004 to 2008 Dodge Ram 1500 third generation, 5.7-liter Hemi. The Hemi has a reputation among casual buyers that functions as a discount mechanism for everyone who examines it carefully. Casual buyers assume the Hemi is high consumption, temperamental, and better suited to a drag strip than to long service life. That perception is accurate on neglected examples. It is wrong on documented, properly serviced units from this generation. Independent shop records and owner logs on Ram enthusiast forums consistently document the 5.7 Hemi clearing 300,000 miles when oil has been changed at 5,000-mile intervals, the cooling system maintained, and transmission fluid changed every 30,000 miles. The architecture is simple: push rods, a cast iron block, no turbocharging, and no direct injection, which means fewer failure points than any modern equivalent at any price. Before purchase, on MDS-equipped trims identifiable by the Active Fuel Management badge, confirm the system has been deactivated or that a lifter tick is absent at cold start. MDS lifter replacement runs from $2,000 to $4,000. Non-MDS examples avoid this entirely. Confirm the 545 RFE transmission cooler lines are not leaking. That is a $200 repair that becomes expensive when coolant reaches the valve body. Inspect the rear axle pinion seal for leaks. If ignored, that issue leads to bearing damage. The repair costs $150. Under $12,000, a documented Hemi Ram delivers the best dollar for capability ratio of any gasoline truck at this price point. The reputation suppressed the price. The service record converts that suppression into a buying decision. Number 9. The 2001 to 2007 GMC Sierra 1500 GMT 800 5.3-liter Vortec. This is the same principle applied to a configuration so consistently underpriced that commercial operators have been exploiting it for years while the retail market looked the other way. Most buyers searching for GMT 800 trucks search for the Silverado badge and never look at the Sierra. The Sierra lists beside it on every platform, mechanically identical, structurally identical, built on the same lines with the same components, and consistently priced below the equivalent Silverado because the Chevrolet badge commands a familiarity premium with no mechanical basis. Same 5.3-liter Vortec, same 4L60E, same chassis, same frame, same suspension geometry. GMC historically specified slightly higher interior trim on equivalent grades, meaning a same age, same mileage. Sierra frequently shows better cabin condition than the Silverado equivalent at a lower asking price. Fleet procurement managers who understood this have been buying Sierras below Silverado prices for years. The retail market has continued funding the Chevrolet premium on an identical product. Buying intelligence is identical to the Silverado. Confirm intake manifold gasket condition, 4L60E fluid and filter history, and rocker panels on northern examples. Mechanical parity, frequently better cosmetics, consistently lower price. The Sierra exists on this list because the market created a discount on an identical product and called it a brand preference. The next entry exists because the majority of buyers see a configuration descriptor they do not recognize and keep scrolling. And that response is what makes it one of the most persistently undervalued drivetrains available under $12,000. Number 8. The 2005 to 2011 Toyota Tacoma, second generation, PRE Runner V6. When buyers see pre-runner on a listing, the majority assume a compromise variant, rear-wheel drive, where the real version has four-wheel drive, an entry-level configuration for buyers who could not reach the price of the capable truck. That assumption consistently underprices this variant below its actual mechanical worth. The pre-runner uses the identical 4.0-liter 1GR FE V6, the identical front suspension geometry with the same travel and ground clearance, and the identical bed and cab dimensions as the four-wheel drive variant. The deletion is the transfer case, rear locking differential, and front axle hardware. Independent surveys show the majority of four-wheel drive Tacoma owners engage four-wheel drive fewer than 5 times per year. For those buyers, the pre-runner delivers every mile the four-wheel drive produces at a private market discount of $1,500 to $2,500 against comparable four-wheel drive examples. Before purchase, confirm the rear limited slip differential fluid. It is the most neglected service item. It costs $30 to service and causes progressive wear when ignored. Inspect rear leaf springs for sag on high mileage examples. Replacement packs run $200 to $400 per side. Apply the same frame inspection standard as the four-wheel drive variant on any northern example. The pre-runner is a discount created by a name buyers misread. The next entry is a capability gap created by a market that measured an entire class of truck using the wrong metric and priced the result at a level commercial operators immediately recognized as wrong. Number 7. The 2003 to 2006 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD Duramax Diesel LB7 or LLY. Most buyers looking under $12,000 exclude diesel 2500 series trucks on the assumption that maintenance, complexity, and fuel costs outweigh the capability benefit. Agricultural fleet records, construction company service logs, and commercial hauling operator maintenance histories disagree with that assumption on every count. The LB7 and LLY 6.6-liter Duramax engines paired with the Allison 1000 transmission are documented in those records to clear 400,000 to 500,000 miles under sustained commercial loads. The Allison 1000 is not a consumer transmission. It is the same gearbox architecture used in commercial buses and municipal fleet vehicles worldwide, engineered for torque loads that destroy passenger car-derived automatics. Before purchase on an LB7, fuel injector replacement is the mandatory known service item. Undone, this is a $3,000 to $4,500 repair. Documented with aftermarket Bosch or Delphi units, the LB7 becomes one of the most durable diesel drivetrains in the used market. On the LLY, confirm no coolant loss and no white exhaust at operating temperature. EGR cooler failure costs $600 to $1,200 to address. On both variants, confirm Allison Transcend fluid and filter service at 25,000-mile intervals. A neglected Allison is a $3,500 to $5,000 rebuild. A maintained one lasts indefinitely. For buyers with genuine towing requirements, nothing at this price point is in the same operational category. Here is what the new truck industry has spent 4 decades engineering: a financial system to prevent you from calculating. Every truck on this list is available under $12,000 because it has already moved through the steepest section of its depreciation curve. That movement was funded entirely by the buyer who purchased it new, who paid $35,000 to $55,000, drove it while it lost the majority of its market value in the first 4 years, and sold or traded it for a fraction of what they paid. The depreciation did not damage the truck. It destroyed the first buyer's balance sheet. The truck kept running. A new full-size truck at $58,000, financed over 7 years at current rates, carries a total daily ownership cost, principal, interest, insurance loading, and depreciation of approximately $28 to $32 every single day. Before fuel, before a single repair, a used truck under $12,000 on a 2-year note carries a daily cost under $8. That gap is $600 per month, $7,200 per year, and over a 7-year term, the total difference exceeds $50,000. Manufacturers structure 7-year financing not because it benefits the buyer, but because it suppresses the monthly payment to a number that feels manageable: $650, $700, $750 per month, while the total cost of the transaction disappears behind a figure engineered to prevent the buyer from calculating what they are actually agreeing to. Dealership finance managers are trained on this sequence. The payment is presented first. The total appears in the paperwork after the decision has already been emotionally committed to. The monthly payment is not the cost of the truck. It is the mechanism designed to prevent the buyer from calculating the cost of the truck at the moment the decision is made. The buyers who understand this are the ones purchasing what comes next. The buyers who do not will be back at a dealership in 4 years. Upside down, financing again, because the cycle was not a coincidence. It was designed to require the return. Number 6. The 2007 to 2013 Toyota Tundra, second generation, 5.7-liter V8. Most buyers with a $12,000 ceiling assume the second-generation Tundra is beyond reach. That assumption is wrong, and the gap is significant. The 3UR FE V8 produces 381 horsepower and 401 pound-feet of torque, carries a factory tow rating of 10,000 pounds, and is documented in independent shop service records to match the longevity of the first-generation unit when timing chain service has been maintained. High-mileage examples in the 180,000 to 220,000 mile range are consistently available under $12,000, and those figures are not a concern on a properly maintained 3UR FE. Before purchase, confirm timing chain service. Chain and tensioners should be inspected or replaced at approximately 150,000 miles at a shop cost of $800 to $1,200. Documented and completed, the engine will run another 150,000 miles without major internal work. Inspect frame condition on northern examples. Confirm the secondary air injection pump has not failed, a common fault at high mileage that triggers a check engine light, and that repair typically costs $400 to $600. Confirm rear differential fluid service. Beyond those checkpoints, this is a truck with another 200,000 miles in it available under $12,000, while new Tundras start at $41,000. Not because of what this truck is worth, but because the depreciation the previous owner funded has run its course. The next entry is the most capable Ford truck that same cycle produced, and its reputation has driven the price below what the mechanical reality of a documented example supports. Number 5. From 2001 to 2007, the Ford F-150, 11th generation, with the 5.4-liter Triton 5.8. The moment buyers see 5.4-liter Triton on a listing, they move on. Spark plug ejection. Cam phaser failure at cold start. The reputation is real on neglected examples. When those repairs are documented in the service records, the reputation is worth exactly the discount it created, because the discount is real. The repair is straightforward, and the fixed truck is not the vehicle that built the reputation. Independent shops consistently document 5.4 F-150s with spark plug thread repair using helicoil or time-cert inserts. Expect repairs from $800 to $1,500 for plug thread work and cam phaser replacement from $600 to $1,000. After those items are resolved, owners report no unusual failure patterns. This is Ford's last conventional steel cab F-150 before the aluminum transition. Steel repairs are straightforward. Parts are cheap and universally available. It carries the highest tow and payload ratings of any gasoline truck on this list. Before purchase, confirm cooling system service history. The 5.4 is sensitive to degraded coolant and can develop thermostat housing and intake issues when coolant chemistry is neglected. A full cooling system service can cost from $300 to $500 if undocumented. Confirm transmission fluid condition on 4R70W or 4R75E examples. Buy the service history. A documented 5.4 F-150 with both repairs on record is one of the best working trucks available under $12,000. The reputation suppressed the price. The records convert it into a decision. The next entry shows what the same dynamic produces at a different scale on a diesel platform with commercial deployment history and towing capacity. No gasoline truck here approaches. Number 4. From 2006 to 2010, the Dodge Ram 2500 with the Cummins 6.7-liter diesel. Most buyers under $12,000 dismiss the Ram 2500 diesel on 3 assumptions. Maintenance is expensive, emissions equipment is complicated, and capability exceeds what they need. Commercial operators who have run the 6.7-liter Cummins past 400,000 miles as a routine outcome disagree on all 3 counts. In the Ram 2500, the Cummins produces 650 to 700 pound-feet of torque, figures no gasoline truck at any price approaches, and it has a factory tow rating exceeding 16,000 pounds. It is available under $12,000 because the retail market priced emissions complexity without pricing, drivetrain, durability. Before purchase, on automatic examples, the 68 RFE torque converter has a documented failure pattern at high mileage. Confirm replacement costs of $1,200 to $1,800, or seek manual transmission examples which eliminate this concern entirely. Confirm DEF system operation. A failed NOx sensor or DEF heater puts the truck into 5 miles per hour derate mode and costs $400 to $800 to repair. EGR cooler service should be documented on examples above 150,000 miles. Failure cost $500 to $800 to address. At the dipstick, confirm no coolant in the oil. A milky or gray appearance indicates a head gasket breach and disqualifies the purchase at any price. With a clean service history, this is a 400,000-mile commercial drivetrain at used commuter car pricing. The next entry is what Ford produced when it decided to build a diesel entirely on its own terms. The result is something the market still has not correctly assessed. Number 3. The 2011 to 2014 Ford F-250 with the Power Stroke 6.7-liter diesel. Ford terminated its engine supply relationship with International Navistar and built the 6.7-liter Power Stroke entirely in-house because the 6-liter and the 6.4-liter engines had damaged its commercial truck credibility beyond what a badge change could repair. The mandate was unambiguous. Build a diesel fleet operators can run without failure anxiety. Commercial operators across North America have documented these trucks running past 400,000 miles under sustained loads. This generation F-250 carries a fifth-wheel tow rating of 21,000 pounds, a figure that belongs in commercial trucking conversations. Before purchase, confirm EGR cooler service history. Replacement runs $800 to $1,200 and should be documented on any example with more than 150,000 miles. Inspect oil and coolant for cross-contamination. Either finding disqualifies the purchase, regardless of price. Confirm turbocharger operation by listening for an unusual whistle or surge. A worn bearing costs $1,500 to $2,500 to replace. Be aware of the CP4 high-pressure fuel pump failure mode. It is uncommon but catastrophic, contaminating the entire fuel system at a repair cost of $8,000 to $12,000. A documented clean service history is the filter that removes this risk. Beyond those checkpoints, this is the most capable towing platform on this list. Nothing in the consumer used truck market at this price competes with it on raw pulling capacity. The final two entries are the two most extreme value propositions in the entire used vehicle market. One defined by a metric the retail market has never priced correctly, the other by a reputation the market formed in 2006 and is never updated. Number 2. The 2001 to 2005 Toyota Tacoma first generation with the 2.7-liter four-cylinder engine. Most buyers looking at first-generation Tacomas pass on the four-cylinder immediately. The V6 gets the attention and the price premium. The four-cylinder reads as the underpowered variant, the configuration for buyers who could not stretch to the engine worth having. Consumer fleet data from municipal and utility operators running the 2.7-liter 3RZFE in daily high-cycle service consistently documents maintenance costs under 7 cents per mile across the drivetrain's full working life. 7 cents per mile. The median new truck buyer at $58,000 financed over 7 years carries approximately 35 to 40 cents per mile in total ownership cost across the loan term. The 3RZFE costs 1/5 of that, and the figure does not appear on any window sticker in America because it makes the transaction the manufacturer needs impossible to justify. Independent mechanics who specialize in high-mileage Japanese trucks describe this engine the same way across every source. No unusual internal wear at extended mileage, no expensive failure modes, no unpredictable demands. Before purchase, confirm valve clearance adjustment at 60,000-mile intervals. The service is $200 to $300 at an independent shop. It is frequently neglected, and when overdue, it causes a rough idle. Inspect rear frame rails on vehicles from northern states. The same recall program applies as on the second generation. Confirm the coolant has been changed on schedule. The 3RZFE develops head gasket sensitivity when coolant is run past 60,000 miles without replacement. A $60 service prevents a $1,500 repair. For any buyer whose requirement is reliable daily transportation across a decade of ownership, nothing on this list competes on total cost per mile. The truck at number 1 carries a more demanding purchase process, a reputation formed on its worst examples and never revised, and a post-repair service life that makes 7 cents per mile look like a reasonable second choice. Number 1. The 2003 to 2007 Ford F-250 Super Duty Power Stroke 6.0-liter diesel, bulletproofed. Every publication covering this engine leads with the failure rate. EGR cooler failures, oil cooler failures, head stud stretch, EGR valve failure. The reputation is accurate for stock, neglected examples, and it has suppressed the price of correctly repaired units for over a decade, creating one of the most extreme and sustained value gaps in the history of the American used vehicle market. Here is what outlets that lead with the failure rate consistently omit. The failure modes are not mysterious. They are 4 specific components: EGR cooler, oil cooler, head studs, and EGR valve, undersized for the thermal and pressure loads the engine generates. Every one has been replaced by upgraded aftermarket components that independent diesel shops have been installing for 15 years. The procedure is standardized. Upgraded EGR cooler from $600 to $900. Upgraded oil cooler from $400 to $600. ARP 625 plus head studs replacing factory torque to yield units from $400 to $600. Upgraded EGR valve from $200 to $400. Total parts from $1,600 to $2,500. Labor at an independent diesel shop from $1,200 to $2,500. Total completed bulletproof build from $3,000 to $5,000. Diesel workshop records and owner documentation compiled on dedicated 6.0 forms consistently show the result. An engine that outlasts the original problem unit by 200,000 miles or more, without the failure patterns that built the reputation. Before purchase, confirm the bulletproof build with full invoice documentation from a named independent diesel shop. Confirm no cross-contamination in oil or coolant. Confirm turbo operation and EGR valve function. Under $12,000, there are F-250 examples with complete documented builds, full photographic service records, and the full capability of Ford's Super Duty platform, cast iron block, 24,000-pound fifth-wheel tow rating, and a drivetrain sized for commercial deployment sold in a retail body. That capability at that price exists because the retail market priced the original failure reputation and never updated its assessment when the solution became widely proven. The buyers who researched past the headline are paying $10,000 for trucks they will drive until 2036. The buyers signing 7-year notes on new F-250s this spring are paying $85,000 for trucks they will be underwater on before 2029. The 13 trucks on this list were not accidents of engineering. They were built when the automotive industry's business model still required the product to outlast the payment. That model changed when manufacturers discovered that 7-year financing, engineered obsolescence, and monthly payment psychology could permanently separate what a vehicle costs from what a buyer believes they are paying at the moment of decision. The trucks on dealer lots today are not inferior by accident. They are inferior by deliberate specification, engineered to survive the warranty period, designed to be replaced before the previous note is settled, priced to require financing structures that make total cost invisible. The used truck market is where that cycle ends. The buyers who find it will not be back at a dealership for a decade. The buyers signing new notes this spring will be back in 4 years with negative equity and the same decision in front of them again. That is not a market anomaly. That is the market functioning exactly as it was designed, for the manufacturer, the lender, and the dealer, in that order, at the direct expense of the buyer who did not calculate what they were agreeing to. If this channel is showing you what that system was built to prevent you from understanding, subscribe. Because what is coming for new truck pricing across the remainder of 2026 makes everything here look like the first page of a considerably darker story.